So
That's
it's
weird.
halftime right now.
Yeah, and Squidward's on,
And
now there's a meteor heading towards Atlanta. Look out, CJ.
Is that a Fortnite thing? Oh,
What a bizarre!
Oh.
What's
what
happening?
a bizarre halftime show.
What's happening in it? I don't.
There's a meteor shower.
That's cool.
Like
If I look outside, can I see it?
Like an actual meteor shower? That seems unlikely.
They're doing their stage show is based around a meteor shower.
What?
I wonder how that looked in the actual stadium.
Is this?
Hold on, I'll be right back. I can tell you.
Yeah.
Is this some sort of like doomsday cult thing?
Yeah, well, he's dancing around a flaming destroyed stage at this point.
Sure.
Ah.
Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen.
I mean, I kind of expected it in Atlanta anyway, but
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
all right.
Yeah.
Oh man, you didn't write out the intro for me.
So
You hear it every week.
Here's the thing. I had the intro written out, and then you guys were like, "Oh, you have to read the intro." Blah blah blah.
I don't
So
ever
then I
remember
stopped.
saying that.
Then I stopped.
I don't ever remember saying that.
I stopped writing
I
the
think
intro.
that might have been
out.
in your head.
And now you're like, "Oh, you didn't write the
You know
intro
what?
out for
I
me."
want to say that I'm proud that I got to episode 639 without saying that you have to read the intro.
Somebody said it. Who said it? Phil?
Probably
I didn't
Phil.
say- I
Phil's
didn't say
bit
anything.
of- let's be honest. Phil's a bit of a dick.
You know
I
what?
think it was you who said it, Greg.
No,
I'm
I
very
didn't.
supportive.
No, you're not.
I celebrate
You're just
knowledge.
building a throne of lies here.
I celebrate knowledge and not ignorance.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
And yeah,
Okay.
They're tearing that guy apart now.
What?
It's gotten weird.
You watching the Puppy Bowl?
This is what happens with Maroon 5.
You watching the puppy bowl?
People.
A pit bull's got loose in the stadium. Oh, dear Lord, no.
Wait, Pitbull's in the halftime show?
I was going to say Pitbull's performing. I didn't know that. All right. Hey, CJ.
Yeah.
Are these tweets that are in this this documente, are they new?
Those are new. Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to episode 639 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, February 5th, 2019. CJ's got a little cold.
Go.
Yeah.
Get out. Oh my God.
What,
Yeah.
you just yell at to get out.
Your kid? Did you just yell at your daughter? You just
Yeah.
Wow. There was
She's not supposed to
zero bedside manner
No,
there.
that
There
was
like,
the-
oh,
Get
fine,
Get
watching-
out.
She said she was going to watch the live stream. And then she
What?
comes in here. So
Wait, your daughter watches the
Well,
live stream of our show?
clear. I
sometimes
didn't know that. I curse sometimes in our
Yeah,
show.
we should. Wow, we say,
I watch that language.
my goodness.
Clearly, CJ
Yeah.
doesn't care.
No, I'm
Thanks
a
for
little,
letting us know, CJ.
Oh, hey, thanks.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm a little sick. I'm a little under the weather this week. Sorry, everybody.
So I am your host.
Here's what famous holiday characters
And
are
we're
make
already
believe.
off the rails.
What?
Jesus.
I'm ruining holidays for
Oh
your
no,
family.
don't.
Yes.
Stop.
Yep.
Stop, please.
Could you imagine if Will Ferrell were real?
There is no Arbor. Sorry, Arbor Day fans.
Yeah.
He's a myth, a Scandinavian myth.
A Scandinavian myth? Hey, I'm your host,
What?
Greg Stewart, because CJ's got a little cold. But with me, as always, from Atlanta, where there was apparently just a meteor shower
I'm seeing like the top half of the Super Bowl
right into the
halftime
Superior
show
Bowl. Yep.
in your
In reverse. You're seeing it
yeah,
in reverse.
in your mirror.
That's how mirrors work.
Yep.
It's CJ.
Hello. How's it going? I'm sick.
And CJ's best friend Mike is in the chat saying that your sailing time has been reduced by at least 15%. Which,
Yeah.
if anyone's been paying attention the last couple of weeks, that's a significant amount.
Oh yeah, that's
That's like we're talking like dozens of hours in a week.
yeah.
Dozens of hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've basically been drinking a lot of orange juice and
Mhm.
down in some emergency and doing the Dayquil, NyQuil thing.
Because
so
there's only
See?
there's only so much vitamin C you can get before it stops having
Only
a
so
benefit.
much you can do when you're sick in the United States.
So I'm gonna absorb its power and become vitamin C man. You'll see.
We have no
Yeah, I
health
guess.
care here, Greg, so all CJ can do is drink orange juice.
That's right.
Yeah.
My insurance ran out. So
What
it's
about
just
12
orange
gallons of
juice
peach tea? What about that?
Oh man.
Yeah.
How much sugar's in this?
But hey, I'm here. Isn't that something? I'm here.
Yeah, do you have insurance right now? This is why you're so sick.
Yeah,
You quit your job and now you have no health insurance. Good timing on
Yeah, the
that.
day my insurance ran out, I got sick, and then my daughter scraped her cornea while
What?
the page of a book.
Oh my! What?
Yeah,
Your daughter got a
What?
paper cut on her eye?
she did. Yes.
How does that happen?
She was flipping through a book in the morning.
With her face.
Look, when
It was one
LeVar
of those
Burton
big, like,
says,
illustrated books.
when
that's
LeVar
like
Burton says, "Take a
landscape.
look," it's in a book. That's not what he means.
It's like landscape orientation. It's a wide book, wide pages.
Huh?
And she flipped it, and it hit her face and hit her in the eye, and she got a paper cut on the eye.
Ouch.
So we had to take her in, and
That's awful.
now we're giving her eye drops.
She
4 times a
okay?
day.
and yelling
Yeah,
at her
she's
if she
fine
enters
now.
the wrong room.
Yeah.
Of course.
Maybe she couldn't see. Did you think
But
about that?
Daddy, my vision is impaired. Get out.
out!
Daddy's busy.
It's Daddy's alone time now.
That's totally not. That's not. No.
Oh boy.
No.
Who,
Hey,
who's
and,
that
uh,
performing on the Super Bowl behind you?
Big boy. I
don't-
think.
Is he wearing a
don't know.
Mario
No,
hat?
that's not. It almost looks like P. Diddy.
Is he wearing a Mario hat?
No.
Again, I'm seeing a reflection.
I don't know. I
Of it.
can't tell. I'm seeing it from a really weird angle. So
Okay.
my other
I don't-
TV is not working anymore.
There just looked to be a fellow there wearing a Mario hat, but maybe
Well.
I'm just seeing what I want to see.
Hey,
Probably.
that other voice you're hearing that won't shut up is our host
That's
from the West
me.
Coast, Phil Theobald.
Hello there.
He's apparently performing in the Super Bowl halftime show.
Everybody enjoy the Super Bowl.
Oh wait,
hope
we
you're
went from
having a good
Mario
time.
to a leprechaun.
Oh, shalay.
In the horror movies,
Yeah.
Leprechaun series.
Apparently, there's another one coming.
Then
Oh,
after me is Warwick Davis reprising his role?
Yeah,
Is
Oh,
Jennifer
really?
Warwick.
Aniston
It's
did it?
Warwick Davis.
Huh?
It's Warwick Davis.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Is Jennifer Aniston reprising her role from like the third one?
Was she in Leprechaun?
She was
Yeah,
in
she's
the
in one of the Leprechaun movies.
I've never seen a Leprechaun movie.
Just
This
like
was,
Ralph
I know.
Macchio was in the stuff.
Ralph Macchio is in the
No,
stuff.
he wasn't.
No, he's not in the stuff.
But Jennifer
Stop
Aniston
spreading
is in one
lies.
of the Leprechauns.
That's true. She is.
This is pre
So your joke made no sense.
friends.
pre-friends. Yeah.
Pre friends.
She had
was
no
also-
friends while she was in Leprechaun.
No. I don't think anyone did.
Yeah.
No.
She was also in the live action He-Man movie. Oh no, wait, no,
Really?
that was
that's
that
Courtney
was
Cox.
Courtney Cox. That was
Oh
another
yeah,
friend.
Courtney Cox was in a bunch of weird stuff. Before
That was
she in
another
Friends.
friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I just mostly remember her
videos.
from Pet Detective,
Dancing in the Dark.
which was a great movie, and Dancing in the Dark. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I was actually a big
Uh,
enough nerd to notice that when she was on Friends, like, hey, that's the girl from Dancing in the Dark.
That's how she will always be known to you.
Always.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's that girl that danced with the boss on stage.
That's right.
I'm being told in the chat that Rachel was in the first Leprechaun.
Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't know. I just made it. I made one up. Made it up that she was in the third one.
Hey, listen. Normally at
Oh,
this
what?
point, CJ talks about the news.
I
put
do.
some news. He put some news in the outline here. Mostly crappy news.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Wow. Don't do any of it then.
I'm just saying. You know what I want to talk about? My voice cracking. So there was I think there was a video that dropped. I want to say it dropped yesterday because I saw it, that GameSpot posted it yesterday.
Okay.
Of
Yeah.
it's a trailer. It was
Mhm.
a trailer for Star Citizen, Squadron
Oh.
42, which is the single player mode, single player adventure from Star Citizen,
Okay.
which is of course the Chris Roberts game that was a kickstarted in 2013 or 2012 or something like that.
Years
Mhm.
ago, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still isn't out, and they've been selling in-game content for 5 or 6 years now.
Mhm.
And I mean, like, they're selling ships for this game that's not done yet.
Yeah.
For some of them are like worth thousands of dollars, I believe. Anyway, it sort of set me down a rabbit hole where I was sort of checking in, and I didn't realize that at the end of last year, there was a big announcement that this game that's been under development for 6 years now got an influx of $46 million
Whoa.
from from a billionaire angel investor.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Should be noted.
a
Should be
literal
noted.
angel?
Should be noted that up to that point,
Yeah.
that project has burned through over $200 million
Hmm.
during development, and it's coming out sometime mid 2020, apparently.
Okay.
I just couldn't believe the numbers. CJ and I were going over the numbers over Slack earlier tonight, and just like, and we figured that burned through over 2 million by the end of 2017. So based on the numbers they showed, plus the influx of cash, they're probably closer to burning through 300 million by the end of 2018. It's insane.
Okay.
And the game doesn't look like it was worth $300 million. Not to mention that I really just want something for my $100 from 9 years ago or 6 years ago.
You're gonna get a nice copy of the game with a starter ship, and you'll be fine.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe that number. Like, that's if they don't ship when they say they're going to, and they keep burning through money at the rate they're going, like that's going to be a $500 million game. Crazy. Anyway, CJ posted some news here. You want to talk about Dr. Mario coming to smartphones? Dr. Mario World coming to smartphones.
Yeah.
What's a Dr. Mario World?
It's a new game coming to
Yeah.
smartphones from Nintendo, and I think Line is working on it with them and another company called NHN. This is why I don't want to talk all that
I know
much.
this is great. All I'm going to do is say the headline, and you can talk.
Yeah. So that was announced, and people are like, "Oh, I love Dr. Mario," and
They're all liars.
well, maybe. I mean, Dr. Mario is a good game. It was
No,
a
it's
good game
not.
back in the day.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I enjoy. I mean, it's no Tetris.
No, but it's a fun puzzle game.
But I enjoy Dr. Mario for what it is.
I agreed with half of that statement. It is a puzzle game.
And the thing that I would say, a lot of people are freaking out. Oh, Dr. Mario, I'd play that on a smartphone. And I'm sure you will, because it's free to start and all that, free to play. But I would say, like, don't expect like a port of the NES game on mobile. Like, have you seen mobile puzzle games? It's probably going to be like one of those. It's probably going to be like a Candy Crush style game. So prepare yourself for that.
What is that noise? Oh my goodness! Listen to this.
She's watching in the other room.
Oh my
Is she? She's watching our
is, yeah.
stream.
Hilarious.
She's watching our stream
Oh my
And
goodness!
singing.
She's happy that we're
Really?
talking about her eye.
Oh, really? Nice. Hey, so
Anyway,
something else that I can't believe is true. Actually, on the day that we should be posting this episode,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
apparently there's going to be an Inside Xbox presentation that's going to talk about Crackdown 3 because that's
Mm.
coming out.
Campaign information.
It is. It is.
In like 2 or 3 weeks now.
Who
And,
Supposedly.
ever
at the-
would have thought we would get to this point in the timeline?
At
We
the
live
end
in
of
a world.
at the end of last week, a bunch of outlets posted gameplay videos of Crackdown 3.
Yes.
So you can check those out. They're about 20, 30 minutes at each outlet of gameplay, ranging from some campaign stuff to some multiplayer stuff.
Mhm.
And that Wreckfest stuff, that's the multiplayer mode, is what uses the power of the cloud to do all the destruction stuff.
Is
So,
it Battle Royale?
no.
They'll patch that in later. Do you think?
No, not everything has to be Battle Royale.
Yeah, it does.
What are you talking about?
Eventually, it does.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm sure they'll do a Battle Royale mode.
I just can't believe that we're this close to Crackdown 3 actually coming out.
I know,
Like,
right?
Like, I just,
Yeah.
I'm blown away. And so
It's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah.
And one of the video I watched from Game Informer, because they do great new gameplay today videos every day of the week. They put up like new gameplay footage of some upcoming game, and they said that it looks and feels like a 360 game, and they said that as kind of a negative. And I was like, no, actually, that's a positive for me. Like I like the original Crackdown. I want this game to play. And even if it looked like the original, but with a coat of paint on it, some extra polish, I'd be happy with that. So
No.
I mean, I hope that it looks better in the 360 game, but
well, yeah. Yeah.
I do have high hopes for it in general, just because Sumo's involved.
Yeah.
Makes me think, it'll be quality at least. We won't have another Crackdown 2 situation. I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of stoked to finally try it.
Yeah, I have not watched any of the gameplay videos.
Yeah, I never do stuff like that.
Yeah, I kind of want to go into it as fresh as possible.
Yeah.
And you know how I'm pretty fresh to begin with. So
you like to
all I
get
need-
fresh with your games.
it's only
You know what I'm
downhill
saying?
from here. Yeah,
You get fresh with your video games.
I do. Fresh. Just like that.
Well, it's part of Game Pass too. So if you have Game Pass, you
Oh, good. I don't even need to buy it then.
I do not have Game Pass.
You should get Game Pass.
Why?
should.
Game Pass is worth. You know why? Because if it sucks, you've spent $12.
Yeah. But you know what? I have a pile of games that I purchased that I haven't played. So I don't see the allure of spending
You're not
$12
listening to me. You're not
What's that?
listening to me.
What's
I'm
that?
not saying that it's a good buy because you'll have access to tons of games you'll never play.
Right.
Because I'm the same way. What
Right.
I'm saying is it's a good buy because you'll have access to the one game you want to play
So I should buy it for a month.
and see if you like it.
Okay.
What if it turns out to be Crackdown 2? What if it's the same as Crackdown 2?
What if
What if it's terrible?
what if I end up really loving it?
Then I'll bet you'll still get through it in less than 3 months, which means you'll still have spent less than you would have buying it new.
I don't know. You don't know how slowly I play. You do know how slowly I play games. I'll be
Look at it
lucky
this
to
way.
get I'll be lucky to get through this game in 3 years.
Look at it this way.
What?
I got a better idea.
What's that?
Let's use Patreon funds to get you a 1-month subscription.
I've already purchased Crackdown 3.
Okay. All I'm saying
No.
is,
Yes.
what I'm trying to say is Game Pass is a great deal for exactly things like this. Because for me personally, I was using it last year, and that's how I played Forza Horizon 4. And hey,
Oh,
I
there you
was
go.
not happy with Forza Horizon 4. And considering games cost $100 here,
Yeah, see, games don't cost $100 here.
well, yeah, but it's not like $50 is nothing.
Well,
It's still a significant amount of money.
I don't know. I
So-
mean, I
I know you're
I'm a top earner.
pulling in that. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you're part of the 1%.
Yeah, well, it's true.
I'm not sure 1% of what. But anyway, my point being that
yes.
like I'm glad that it cost me $13
right.
to find out I didn't like Forza Horizon
Yeah.
4 than $100.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I got my Crackdown ordered through it with a gamer club unlocked
Yeah, I have a cheap
or whatever that
Crackdown.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd
I got
forgotten about
that. Yeah. So I will turn on my Xbox One for the first time in
Quite a
Better
while.
download some patches
Several months.
before that point.
oh, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you'll
but-
have a few.
you will.
Probably, yeah. No, that actually makes sense. But yeah, and Best Buy has a deal going where you get a steelbook as well. You get a steelbook.
Really? You
case.
care about
Nice.
steelbooks still?
I do like steelbooks.
That's a thing okay.
I like steel. I mean, I'm not like one of those guys who is like super obsessed. Like I'm gonna spend a ton of money to buy some European exclusive steelbook or
I
something
don't
like
know. I
that.
feel like of all the people I know, you're the most likely to do something like that.
would. That's fair point. but I'm not that far down the rabbit hole. So don't worry.
Okay.
No, you know what? I have dumb expensive Transformers to be importing. I don't have
That's true. Yes.
I don't have
You have lots of other useless crap to spend that money on.
there you go.
Good
So
point.
but yeah, no, I got that ordered. I'm very excited. But the few comments that I was reading about the Crackdown 3 playtime that people were posting,
Yeah.
it sounds like it sounds like it is not exceptional. It's not like amazing, blow you away, triple A, whatever that means, experience, but
Yeah.
it plays an awful lot like Crackdown 1, which is kind of exactly what I want.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, that's
I
exactly
agree.
what I want as well.
Yeah.
I don't care at this point.
Yeah.
I want more Crackdown 1. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that.
So
Okay. Apparently, moving on to another headline that CJ put here, Apple is planning a subscription gaming service. So apparently, this along with their own streaming video service is how they're going to offset the flatlining. I shouldn't say flatlining, but peaking hardware sales of their like crazy over expensive phones. Would you agree, CJ? Crazy over expensive.
Crazy over expensive. No, I think they're trying to grow services revenue.
Yeah, because their phones are too expensive.
Their phones are too expensive. Sure. Yeah, we'll say that. I mean, people buy phones now, every 2 years or whatever. And a lot of times their phone lasts
Crazy
longer
people.
than they were before. So that's fine too. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what sort of package this offers, because almost everyone I know that plays mobile games enjoys free to play games. So how do you differentiate yourself from on a platform that has a lot of free games to, you're going to have to pay X amount of dollars to do this subscription thing? Like what's the value proposition there? And more importantly, are people going to want to do that in great numbers?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a former fourth chair of this podcast that really loves premium mobile games, and that's fine. And there are some really, really good ones out there for sure.
You're talking about Mike Phillips?
Exactly. That's who I'm talking about. He mentioned some on this very show last week. And there are some great developers working on those games, and I don't think they make a whole lot of money. Is this going to be a boon to that type of developer? And are people going to buy it? I don't know.
You're absolutely right, though. I think that it won't be, only because there are so many of us, myself included, who spend little to nothing on mobile games.
Little to nothing, exactly.
Yeah. So
myself included, I play a lot of mobile games. I don't spend. I think I've spent maybe $10 over the last 2 years of mobile.
Yeah.
So, and I play a lot of mobile games. So,
I didn't think that was possible.
So you think they're just creating a paywall? This is their Xbox Live. This is their PlayStation Network.
No,
everything's free behind a paywall.
No, but you have streaming services, and if Apple's doing their own subscription TV service, this is sort of like, it makes sense that it would get packaged in. It's just a matter of what they offer and whether people find value in that over playing Fortnite on their phone.
It'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting to see.
Yeah,
what they do with it. I don't know that I'll partake, but it's either going to be like brilliant, something that no one's thought of before, which I doubt, or it's going to show like tremendous hubris that they'll decide that all this stuff that's for free we can charge you for somehow now. So anyway, and what other headline we got here, which is another example of someone leaving Steam for the Epic Games Store. This time it's Metro Exodus that is not going to be available on Steam. Will be available.
Well, here's the catch, right? Because Metro Exodus has been up for pre-order on Steam for quite some time. So Valve had to put a notice on the Metro Exodus page, basically saying that Metro Exodus is not going to be available on Steam, but the people who have bought it will apparently still be able to get it through Steam, but it won't be sold on Steam any longer. So, because they're going to the Epic Games Store, get that money.
I'm surprised that we haven't heard anything from Valve at this point about changing their revenue split.
It's not just about revenue split, I think. No. Like, obviously Epic has a great revenue split. You have to think that they're paying some of these developers to come over to them for sure, right? And they're also giving away free games each month. So it's not even just a matter of, we're going to change our split. it's now we have to do free games too, and we have to pay developers to keep a game on our storefront. Like that is a more complicated
I don't
equation
think
than
that
just
they would have to get into getting a developer to pay them to be on their storefront because they're Steam. They've been around a long time.
right.
They've got that mass market that the Epic Game Store is still trying to build.
Hmm.
But the other two
Except-
things, I think, yes,
Except that Epic has, Fortnite to get people to
I've heard of it.
to install their launcher. Like it, they have a little bit of a leg up with that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of amazing that they haven't done anything other than that announcement, like right before the Epic Game Store got announced about the revenue stuff.
Yeah.
Because that is something they could change fairly easily. But
That's what I'm saying. I'm just surprised that they haven't for exactly that reason. The other stuff we're talking about, they're bigger changes and they're expensive changes,
yeah,
right? But the tweaking the split, I don't even think it needs to match. It just needs to be competitive. And it just doesn't seem like they've.
I guess how do you go from 70-30 to 88-12 and not change
math.
your complete business model? I mean, that's Valve's business model entirely now, right?
Sure.
Because they don't really make games currently.
I'll be honest, I'm not even paying attention to this conversation, but
I'm sure
I feel like it's been a good one. Okay.
My goodness.
Wow.
Watching the Super Bowl, man. What do you want?
Is it really that exciting of a game? I mean, come on.
It's only 3-0 in the third quarter. It's a good game. Let's move on to what you've been playing.
All right.
CJ, you're having trouble talking, so we'll make you talk
yeah.
first.
Okay, fine. I went back to Dragon Quest Builders, and now I'm on chapter 3 of that game.
I keep telling myself I'm going to go back and play that.
Yeah, it's actually not too hard to come back to, although I did have to like replay the first little bit to get used to the controls again while coming back. Because that was towards the end of chapter 2. So so I finished chapter 2, went on to chapter 3, and I really like how that game kind of does a reset each time, and you have to build everything up from scratch in a new part of the world. And my daughter really loves watching me play that game. She's been playing the demo of Dragon Quest Builders on her Switch, and then as I've unlocked stuff in the free build mode, the Terra Incognita mode, she'll go in and toy around with that when I'm not playing. So, but she enjoys watching me play it. So it's fun. I'm really enjoying that game. I took a bunch of screenshots, posted them on Twitter. It's such a beautiful game, and it's just comfort food. It's gaming comfort food. It's not a difficult game particularly, so it's just fun.
You know, I meant to say earlier on, and somebody just mentioned it in the channel. The other thing we're getting very soon is Toe Jam and Earl.
Oh yeah,
That's right. It's a month away.
Yeah, that's awesome.
March 1st.
Very excited about that.
Yeah.
What else have you been
Me
playing,
too.
Siege?
Well, I've been playing Splatoon 2. Jumped back into that. My daughter
What
also
else have you
wanted
playing,
to
Siege?
play that. And that game is also just fun to hop right back into and get into the multiplayer. And it's just such a fun game. Yeah, I've been playing Wargroove.
There's the one I wanted to hear.
Oh yeah.
You know, that strategy RPG thing.
Everyone's
It kinda
loving the
looks like
Wargroove.
Advance Wars. So yeah, I got a code for PC from the PR agency doing PR for it, and started playing it. It's pretty spot on to
Yeah.
Advance Wars. It's a lot of fun. I love the visuals too. It's all pixel art, and it reminds me in some ways of like Sega CD games that were like pixel art but had really good voice acting and music. Yeah, it reminds me of that a little bit. It's got a nice anime intro, and I played a little bit of it, and I'm just starting to get my head around the combat mechanics in it, and it's really fun. And I really also appreciate the fact, and some people on Twitter have been talking about how it gets really difficult later on.
That has been the big thing that worries me about it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and apparently you can't save mid mission or anything like that.
I'm not too worried about that. Doesn't bother me too much if the missions aren't like hours long.
Apparently they're long. Apparently they're long. but you can do things like tune the amount of currency you get, and there's sliders on the screen that you can adjust that will make it easier or harder.
See, because so my big worry about that is and what I'm hoping to hear, and I'm kind of hearing it from you and somebody else I was talking to said something similar, like Fire Emblem got it right as far as I'm concerned, because just through the simple fact of making death permanent or not permanent and giving you the option. Because I want games like this to be challenging, but I don't want them to be
frustrating.
I don't want to be too penalized for not being good at it. You know what I mean? So like when I play Fire Emblem, I turn off permadeath, and I find that it's as much as I've played of those games, I find that's just the right amount of challenge. Because if I want to, and I'm kind of like, okay, I can't figure out a way around this, I'm just going to throw bodies at it to finish this mission, right? And I'm okay with that, because I mean, you're still getting penalized in that you've got characters now that aren't on the field, they're not gaining experience, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you're still getting penalized gently, for that. And I know Ethan, he's crazy into Fire Emblem, and he plays with permadeath on.
He does,
and he goes back and replays missions over and over and over again, which is cool. And I love that the game lets you play both ways, and you don't feel like you're missing anything. Right. So that's what I'm really interested in Wargroove, but I really want to hear that I'm not going to get like 8 hours in or 5 hours in and hit this wall. Where I'm not having fun anymore, because I find with strategy games, strategy RPGs like that, I can get turned off them real easy if the missions just get too difficult.
I need to play more of it and see if that's the case. Some people mentioned like, hey, it would be great if they added a way to like redo your last move or something like that, or rewind a little bit. That'd be cool if they did that. And I mean, the great thing about this era of gaming is that anything's patchable. So we may get that option. I'm not sure. This also has cross-play multiplayer between everything. So you can be playing on whatever platform and play against somebody on another platform, which is fantastic.
I've heard that's quite good.
Yeah, I didn't try that out, but that is a very cool option to have. Great voice acting, really great music. It just evokes everything Advance Wars except for the military sort of theme. It's very sort of it's more Fire Emblem-y.
It looks it.
Really.
But it looks great and plays really well, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm early on, but I would say, Greg, you should definitely check this out, because I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, it's on my short list for sure.
Okay.
Like but it's just I look at even I don't know why I kind of think of this as a Switch game more than anything else, and I'm not really sure why I think about it that way. But I look at my Switch, and it's like I've still got I haven't even started Phantasy Star yet.
Oh my God! Really?
Whoa.
Well, I was waiting to finish. I want to play it on stream, and
I bought that because it was on sale. It's on sale this week for like $2 off. So I bought it.
I bought it when it came out because I had the Nintendo points from the purchase of Smash Brothers. Because I think you get double points when Smash Brothers came out or something like that. So I mean, it's just like, hey, you've got enough points for this. You don't have to spend a cent. Great.
Done.
I'm gonna buy it anyway. It's free. Love it. But it's been sitting there waiting for me to play it, because again, I was playing through other stuff. And then and Golf Story. I've barely scratched the surface of Golf Story, which is fantastic. So I really want to get back to those two.
Yeah, I think Wargroove is one of those games. I think it debuted in an Indies Direct, which is why so many people have Switch. Are thinking Switch is the predominant platform, but it's out on everything. And publisher Chucklefish is really doing. I mean, this every platform plus crossplay plus
it's great.
All the stuff that's in there. It's great. So it's a great game, and I think it was delayed a few times, but it's definitely worth checking out.
Cool.
Yeah. And of course, I played some Sea of Thieves, because why not? But
not as much as you normally do, apparently.
Not as much as I normally do. Yeah, it's funny. There's a big controversy in the Sea of Thieves community.
Oh boy!
Right now, because Rare announced that they were going to work on a way for Xbox players to be able to opt out of crossplay if they wanted to.
Okay.
So you'd have a server that was like Xbox people only, and that would be like you could choose to do that, but if you just went the standard route, you'd be in with everybody. And one of the streamers that has made Sea of Thieves popular again on Twitch, Summit, went on a rant that basically like he preys on people who are not good at the game and are probably Xbox players, and he went off saying that you're killing the PC population when really nothing is happening with the PC. Like PC and Xbox that'll still be the main place, but as an Xbox player, you can opt out if you want to. So there's a whole thing.
It sounds like he made a case for people wanting to have that option then.
Well, yeah.
he's complaining that he's not going to have as many noobs.
That's right.
To
sounds like a bit of a
defeat. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. But so Rare had to clarify. It's like, no, like we're basically not changing anything. We're just giving Xbox players the option if they want to opt out of crossplay with PC, which I don't know anybody personally who would do that anyway. I mean, I was playing on Xbox with a controller. I'm playing on PC with a controller. Like, I don't care like who I'm playing against. So, but it's going to be an option in the future, and people are very upset about it because they think that it's going to ruin the game or whatever. I have no idea why they're so upset. It's not going to ruin the game. It's going to be fine. It's just like when Rare announced they were doing an alliance system in the game so you could share loot with everybody. There was this big uproar like, oh, nobody's going to attack anybody. It's just going to be Sea of Friends after this point.
Not at all.
And guess what? That is not the case.
It actually turned into a really interesting feature I found in the little bit that I've played, because there was a lot of traders.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, I mean, you'd ask for an alliance, and then people would screw you, and you're kind of, there was like a real risk involved.
There's real risk involved, yeah, and it definitely was not Sea of Friends. So the concern there was unwarranted. I think the concern here is just as unwarranted. I think it'll be fine. But and then we're also getting a preview on that Inside Xbox of some of the upcoming things that Rare has brewing.
Man, we know what you're doing on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you got to get up and go to work the next day. So,
whoa,
okay.
whoa!
You know your daughter's watching, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's watching anymore.
I
just made a funny sound.
I can hear her in the other room going, "I knew it."
But anyway, so yeah, Sea of Thieves. I'm still playing it, of course. Love it on the PC. Those fast load times, let me tell you, makes a difference.
No.
And that's
It is a long load time when you play on the Xbox. That's true.
It is. It's instant on the PC.
All right, we're done talking about Sea of Thieves. Phil.
Yes.
What you been playing?
Well, out of nowhere, I decided to hit the high seas this week by diving back into Sea of Thieves.
What?
Yep. Someone had to pick up CJ's slack, and I figured I'm just the scallywag to do it.
Best friend, Mike's new best friend.
Hold on, let me.
Yeah, parse that for a minute.
Parse that out.
Yes. Best friend.
Yes.
Mike's new best friend.
Yes.
Yes.
No. I picked up Downwell for Switch. Have you seen this? The Downwells.
I hear it's a great game to play on your lunch hour.
Or at any time, really, when the mood strikes. Downwell was it was an iOS game, wasn't it?
Yes,
CJ,
you're the iOS game.
Yes,
the Vita game, I think, too.
Yes, Vita. I think it's on Steam. You can play it on just about anything.
Plays really well with the old flip grip. I heard
it seems custom made for the flip grip.
Really?
So yeah, I mean, it supports it. So sure, and it's a very vertical game because you are going down a well. As the title says. So yeah, it's fun.
I've never played Downwell.
It's fun. It's a fun little game. I mean, it's its mobile roots it wears them on its sleeve. It's very much a pick up and play for a couple minutes and then put it back down, because you're falling down a well and you have you shoot bullets out of your feet
Well,
which
that's where
is
bullets come from.
right. Well, exactly. And
Hmm.
you use it to kill enemies as you fall, and you get power ups that give you different types of weapons and things like that. So it's a fun little game. So not much to say about it. It's just it's
And
a
it's real
simple game.
cheap, isn't it? It's like
It's
$2
like
or something.
I think it's $3.
Okay.
$3. Yeah. So $3. It's a fun little time. It is especially good if you have the flip grip, which you should anyway.
You should, because
Yeah.
it's cheap and it's really useful.
Yeah, it's a handy little peripheral. So
Mhm.
but yeah, so I picked that up. I also picked up this game that came out on Switch this week from the good folks over at Inti Creates.
Mhm.
It is called Dragon Marked for Death.
Okay.
Which apparently there are no colons in that title. It seems like there should be.
It seems like there should be. Yep.
Yeah, but apparently there's not. This is a side-scrolling action RPG game that
Okay.
is set up for you can play it single player, but you can also get online and play it multiplayer with your buddies. There are different classes of characters that you can choose from, and it's weird the way they have it set up, because the game is going to be coming out retail, I believe, sometime towards the end of March, for like $50, kind of a
Okay.
full price game. It includes the whole game you're getting on the eShop plus some DLC. But the eShop version, they are doing it in this weird kind of way. They've divided the game up into 2 parts.
I saw this. Yeah.
And I was very confused by this at first. And I actually had to go online and do some research. And like the official website doesn't really do a very good job of explaining what is happening with this. Because at first I was like, is this 2 different games?
Yeah.
Is it, is it kind of like a Pokemon kind of situation where you can like trade stuff back and forth between the different versions? Is it 2 separate quests, 2 different storylines? It turns out that it is just a way to you're getting the same game no matter which one you get, but the playable characters differ depending on which version you get. So
Okay.
there are 4 playable classes in all. One of the versions on the eShop contains 2 of the character classes. One version contains the other 2.
But how, before you played it, do you know which one you want?
You watch the trailer and decide from there.
That's weird.
Because the trailer does go into each of the characters. It's like, here's what this character does, and here's how you play this character, and here's how this is this character's role when you are playing a multiplayer game. This is going to be your function in your party, as like the healer or the shield or whatever. But it's also set up where it's like this bundle is the 2 characters who are more kind of like your average player characters, and
Right.
these 2 characters in this set are sort of balanced for more advanced players who might want to do a little more extravagant fighting or defending or support techniques in the game. So I went with the basic ones because
Because you're basic.
because I am basic.
Mhm.
And the basic pack has I forget what her class is, but and I guess she's like the main character because she's like the front and center one on the artwork. It's some lady, and she's got a sword, and then she has
Some lady.
Some anime lady with a sword.
She's got a sword, and then she has a big like dragon head on her arm.
Yeah.
That can shoot fire, and she has kind of this bionic commando swing mechanic as well that looked fun.
Okay.
So I was like, I will get that one because I want to play as her. So
She really does have some kind of weird thing happening with her arm there.
did you think I was lying?
No,
Did you think that was one of my
it's
trademark?
actually you actually
gotchas.
You actually didn't do it justice with your description. There's a lot going on in that image.
Yeah. So I picked it up. I've played a little bit of it so far. Have not tried multiplayer yet, but it seems pretty cool. It's fun. It plays well.
So it's just a side-scrolling action RPG.
Side-scrolling action RPG.
Dragon Crown or
which one's Dragon Crown? Is Dragon Crown the one with like the big booby ladies?
I think so.
Okay, I don't think I've played that one.
I'll ask Ethan.
What did I played the one I played Code of Princess? Is that the one that's kind of like Guardian Heroes?
Yeah.
I played that one because it was kind of like I played a little bit of that one, enough to find out it's not really as good as Guardian Heroes.
Valkyrie Profile? What about Valkyrie Profile?
I haven't played Valkyrie Profile. Is that
That's an old game.
is that a Square one?
An old PlayStation game, yeah.
That's a Square game, right? Yeah, I don't think I may have played a little bit of it, but it's a side-scrolling action RPG.
But by the way, L Young in the chat just want to call out the Grey Cup isn't the CFL Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is the NFL's Grey Cup. Let's get that right.
Oh,
yeah.
The Grey Cup's been around a lot longer than Super Bowl.
Let's not embarrass ourselves here.
Just saying.
Okay. So, Dragon Marked for Death seems like a pretty cool game. So,
cool.
I'm
I mean,
looking
it sounds interesting.
Yeah. I mean, well, did you watch the video of it?
I will. I'm not watching while we're.
Yeah. It looks like it's an Intercreates game.
Yeah.
So, you know what it kind of looks like? It has kind of if you've played like the Mega Man Zero games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it has that because those were Intercreates too. So if I'm remembering correctly, which I think I am.
I don't really know.
But it kind of looks and feels a bit like that, but more you're occasionally wandering into a village and buying weapons and
okay.
Like
a
stuff.
Wonder Boy in Monster World.
Kind of. If that's what it takes to get your interest, yes, it's exactly like Wonder Boy Monster World. But hey, Wonder Boy Monster World, top-notch game.
Yes.
Let's not pretend. Hey, you know what else I played this week?
What's that?
Well, if you followed my Twitter, you've heard me talk a little bit about this. I sat down and played some Ace Combat 7 in the virtual realities.
Throw up?
No.
Did you come close to throwing up?
Let's put that at maybe a 6.
Clearly, you weren't doing cool enough stuff in that jet.
So yeah, so I tried one of the missions. I tried the first mission in that game in VR, and I believe there are 3 VR missions.
Yeah, I think it's yeah.
The mission was lengthy. It was probably like 20, maybe 30 minutes. So it's not a
really wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, it was in there for a while. But yeah, you start off. You're in your hangar. You're just kind of looking at your jet. You're selecting your weapons.
Humming Highway to the Danger Zone.
Yes. And you get in, and then it shows you you're on an aircraft carrier. So you're rising up. You're under the deck of the aircraft carrier, and you're rising up. You're on this platform, and you come up, and you get up onto the deck, and you can see there's another jet next to you, and you can hear the radio chatter that they're getting ready to launch the first jet, and there are people scrambling around, removing chocks or whatever it is.
Hey, nice use there.
There you go,
boy.
See, I was in the Air Force briefly.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Yeah, but yeah, and then you get to watch the first jet boom take off, and you're just
as proof, you're wearing that NASA shirt.
Yeah, exactly. See, they don't just give these out to anybody, folks.
You can't just buy that at Target or Walmart.
No, you got to be in the inner circle.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're in the real inner circle of NASA, that's when they start telling you about how they faked the moon landing. And, you know, the flat.
You got to
Earth.
rise through the ranks a lot.
Yeah. Turns out completely flat.
Yep.
But and then
if it wasn't flat, the water would just run off of it. How does it stay in the oceans?
Well, that's just it. Do you ever pour water on a beach ball?
Does it stay in the place?
Just falls right off.
Falls right off.
Falls right off. Explain that.
You're making really good points.
And then if you got
Science.
it spinning like
then it's
like-
gonna throw things off.
like those fake scientists claim, come on, it's ridiculous. Doesn't make sense.
I mean, the speed they say we're moving at, that's unreal. Anyway,
Follow the money, people. Well, here's the thing: if you get in your car and drive, I'm going like what 40 miles an hour. It says right there on the speedometer.
it's true. How could I
You
be
know?
going hundreds?
Yeah, it would pick up the rotation of the Earth on
That's
the
just how math
speedometer.
works.
Yeah.
All right.
So you launch,
Yeah.
and boom, you take off, and you're sitting there, and it's great because I'm sitting on my couch, and but you're in the cockpit, and I'm taking off, and boom, I go up, and it's nuts because you take off, and I'm just kind of looking around a little bit, trying to get
Mhm.
my bearings. I'm like, oh, there's that carrier I just launched off of. And you get into formation with your buddies, and you're flying towards the enemy planes. The bogies.
The bogies. Yep.
The
they're
bogies. The bogies are on their way.
Technical
Flying
term.
towards the boogers.
Yep. And yeah, once you get within range, it just goes nuts because you are flying every which way.
Yeah.
You're launching missiles. Your missile may miss, and you're cutting a hard turn trying to keep them in your sights, and you're flipping around, and you're
You got
upside down for a good while. And
Goose in your ear. You won't shut up.
you want that though
So
for
you
the
hit eject
encouragement.
for him. And
Wait, is that how that works?
isn't
Do
that
you
what
have-
happened?
You have eject buttons for all the
Just
other
for him,
jets
yeah.
in your squadron.
Well, no,
That's like-
Goose is in the plane with you.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's true. No, there's no one else in the plane. You're in the plane by yourself.
Because
Yeah.
you already ejected Goose.
I did that before we went up on deck.
The
You
canopy
just-
didn't even dislodge. You just ejected him right into the canopy.
big crack in it, yeah. But yeah, it is, and we've talked about this before. I have not gotten sick in VR. I don't get motion sickness. Wipeout, I
Mhm.
was fine. But this,
Yeah.
it was pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
made
that's-
it through.
That's what I would expect.
But yeah, I mean, once you're pulling those hard G's,
Mm.
there
I
you
love
go.
a hard G.
Yep, that stands for goober grape, the delicious combination of peanut butter and jelly, which I don't know if they've sold that in the past like 20 years. Is that
Does it
still
matter?
a thing? I don't know. It used to be. That used to be a product you could get. It was peanut butter and jelly in one jar. It was like your mustard A&A's. But
Mayonnaise.
or your mayo stirred,
Mayo stir.
whichever one you prefer.
Mayo
you know.
turd.
Don't be a 2-jar slave. But it's
That their
nuts.
tagline?
I believe
Because
so.
it
That
should
was
have been.
it was one of them.
Yeah.
It was one of them. Well, because one of them had the Abe Lincoln came out in the yellow and white
What?
striped shirt. Huh? It's a Mr. Show sketch.
I
Do you
don't
remember the whole?
that.
You don't
Don't
remember
be
the whole
a 2-jar slave.
the whole Mr. Show
That's
mayo
great.
stirred?
I do remember it
Yes.
vaguely.
I
but-
don't remember this, to be
Oh
honest.
man, you
No.
look that up afterwards. It is
Okay.
top notch, Mr. Show.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a little stomach churning. Like CJ would not have survived. CJ
No.
would have bailed out in
Yeah.
like 30
at
seconds.
the takeoff. I've
Yeah.
been- Yeah.
But man, it was crazy. And I had to start kind of getting used to actually looking around to sort of get that bearing on my environment, because once you kind of get up into the sky, and especially once you get above the clouds,
You have no bearings.
you very quickly lose track of
Yeah.
which way is up.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm flying down trying to find an island or something to sort of give me a relative position of where I am to the ground. But yeah, it was outstanding. It was really damn good.
And I kind of expected that like if any game was going to do it, this would be the game.
Yeah.
Just because of the sort of the nature of it. Because yeah, when you're dogfighting, you've got to look around.
Oh yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so it's I always used to say, like, when I worked at Frontier, we were working on Elite Dangerous, and
Mhm.
we did a press day, and of
Mhm.
course, Elite Dangerous was one of the sort of the poster children for the Oculus at
Yeah.
the time. So when we did the press day, we were demoing in VR, and I was chosen to be the demo guy
Oh
for the
wow.
whole day,
Yeah.
and which I loved because I, again, I'm like you, VR doesn't really make me sick,
Right.
so I'm good. But I just remember one time I was flying towards a booger,
Yeah.
and he flew over me.
Oh,
Like
okay.
we flew towards each other, and he went right over my head, and so I looked up
Yeah.
and I pulled back on the stick right at the same
Oh
time,
yeah.
and the whole world just
Yep.
rotated, and I felt my stomach just like my organs just drop into my
Yeah.
stomach, and I was
Yep.
like, because it was at that moment that I realized, like, wow, my body is really expecting some sort of
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
force
Yeah.
on it
Yep.
here. My brain's telling my body that that's what's going to happen, and
Yep.
my body's not happy about the fact that it's not happening.
Yep.
And I never felt like that again in VR until Gran Turismo,
Oh,
of all
okay.
things. And it was kind of the same thing because you're limited to a certain number of cars and a certain number of tracks, and it's only a 2-car race in VR in that. And one of the tracks they have is a really high banked short track, like an oval track. It looks like it's based on a track in Tennessee named Bristol.
Okay.
And it's just like you go into the turns and you're like 45 degrees, banking,
Yeah.
something like that. And it felt weird enough, but then it was convertible. You're in a convertible. So I happened to look up, and it was just like, oh no, my body doesn't like this at all. So yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, and especially, driving a car is so normal for most of us, or
Right.
being in a moving vehicle in general is so normal for most of us, that your body is expecting to feel a certain way based on what you're doing in the vehicle.
Yeah.
And it just didn't like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool. That sounds awesome. I need to borrow that from CJ's best friend,
Yeah.
Mike, so I can try it out.
Yeah, no, it's outstanding. And yeah, like I mentioned on the Twitter, like there was a couple moments where I get kind of so wrapped up in the motion of it where it does kind of start feeling a bit real.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was one part where, I launched a missile at a bogey, and one hits, one misses. He's flying away. I'm way up above cloud level, and I make a sharp turn and I nosedive after him. And I go through the clouds and I get him in my sights. The water is rapidly coming up towards me. I launch a missile. Boom, he explodes. I fly through the explosion.
That's
And then
awesome.
And as I do it, the pull up warning starts flashing because I'm about to crash, and I pull back on the stick, and my plane just shifts upward. I'm still kind of falling a little bit, and I swear I'm like the tail of my plane is dragging through the water, and I
That's
shoot
so cool.
and I shoot up over a mountain on an island, and I'm instinctively just woo as I'm pulling up. I was just like, this is outstanding. This is really damn good.
See, now it's funny because those Ace Combat games, didn't they always used to have like a replay mode where you could go back and watch? I assume in VR that doesn't happen.
I did not see one in VR. I was looking for that afterwards.
Yeah, because that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah. But it does have the option, once you clear a mission, you're able to go back in. I mean, obviously you can replay the mission whenever you want, but you can also go back in without any enemies if you just want to fly around and buzz islands. And that's, and it was funny too, because afterwards, after I cleared the mission, you get like, okay, good job, you did it. Let's bring it back home. And the screen kind of fades. I'm like, okay, we're going on to the next mission or whatever. You have to land.
Oh, so it's just like Top Gun on the NES.
Yeah, it's not Top Gun on the NES. First, you have to land, and you have to land on the aircraft carrier.
Oh.
You don't have a nice open runway.
You can't just land in the open ocean.
No. Well,
you did.
I mean, no, I did not land in the open ocean. I landed right in the side of the aircraft carrier. Thank you
Wow,
very
there you
much.
go.
So,
Wasn't there an opening for you?
well, you know what? Because it starts off, and I'm just like, oh crap, I have to land, and I'm coming in, and you're in a jet. You're sitting in the cockpit, and like, okay, if I'm driving my car, I am very familiar with the mass of the vehicle around me. So if I'm pulling into like a
Yeah,
parking
exactly.
space
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a garage, I instinctively know how much room to leave on the
Spatial
passenger
awareness.
side.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't really have that on a jet.
Well, I mean, let's be honest.
So-
You're trying to land on an aircraft carrier. Flying into the side of it doesn't have a whole lot to do with spatial awareness.
But it's like I don't really know like how much undercarriage I have under me. So as I'm approaching the thing, I'm like, am I high enough? Is the bottom of my plane going to hit the side of the aircraft carrier? Do I need to raise myself up higher? And the first time I raised myself up a little too high and I overshoot it. So then it turns into, okay, now I have to kind of circle back around and get
Now they're
myself
all laughing at you.
and get myself lined up again. And of course, that sounds easy enough, but when you have this narrow little aircraft carrier on a very big ocean.
Listen, I've seen aircraft carriers. They're not little.
You know what? When you're really up high above them, they sure seem a lot smaller than that giant mass of blue. And the second time I'm coming around and I'm judging it, I'm like, well, I was up a little too high this time. I'll try being a little lower this time. And well, no,
Not so much.
I smacked right into the side of it. So then I had to do it again. And I was able to, now that I kind of expected it, now that I knew it was coming, I was able to
so when you
land.
smacked into the side of it, you got to keep playing? You didn't blow up?
Well, I did blow up.
Oh,
but
you went
then
into
it was
the mission
like,
again.
yeah, you got to do the landing part of the mission again.
Okay. All
And I
right.
was able to land that on that second attempt. But then, like I said, you get to go back in and play with no enemies, just fly around and enjoy yourself. And that's when I kind of was like, let's see how many barrel rolls I can do before I start getting queasy. And let's see how many giant loop-de-loops I can do.
How much vomit I can get on the canopy.
So I was just, the mission, like I said, went on for maybe 20 minutes or so. And then I spent probably another 10 minutes or so just goofing around, seeing how far straight up I could fly, and then nose diving back into the earth and pulling up before I crash into an island, stuff like that. And then I was like, well, I don't think I could handle playing another mission right now. So I'm gonna get out of this. And I quit the game, and Dana had walked out into the living room and was kind of just watching me, with all this crap strapped to my face. And when I came out, I was telling her all about it. And maybe about 5 minutes after I had pulled myself out of the game, that's when it all kind of caught up with me.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, wait a second. Because as I'm in the middle of explaining this to her, I'm just like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go sit down on the couch again. And then I went and sat down on the couch, and then that quickly turned into, I'm going to go ahead and lie down on the couch for a little bit.
Old man Phil.
Because, my equilibrium decided to catch up with myself at that point. So,
yikes!
But I vomit free though.
Okay.
Didn't
All right.
lose it, but
That's a win.
It's great though. It's really damn fun. So I'm pleased that I picked that up. So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it, man.
Speaking of not being able to tell up from down,
I
started playing Adrift this week, which I think when I bought it, I thought it was a VR game, because it is VR on PC.
It is a VR game.
Not on the PlayStation VR.
What? Are you sure about that?
I could not find the option. And then I went online and looked, and it said 505 has announced that Adrift will not have a VR mode on PlayStation.
Weird.
Oh, really?
Okay.
So, which I'm bummed about.
As a VR game also.
Well, it really should be. So Adrift, for anybody who doesn't know what it is, I think it's I don't know if it's over a year old now. I don't know how old it is.
It is, yeah.
But it's basically you're playing as an astronaut who's in a space station, and you basically, the way the game starts is you wake up and you're in I don't know, like you're out for a spacewalk or something. I don't know what you're doing, but you're in a suit, and you wake up to realize that the station has disintegrated. It's come apart. And you're floating out in the middle of, you're hanging on to a rope or something, a tether that helps you get back into the pieces that still exist. And anyway, it's kind of, it's like a walking simulator, but in space. So really what you're doing is you're navigating your way through the remaining pieces of the space station, trying to piece together what's happened, trying to figure out how you're going to get out of this, right? Yeah. And the only real challenge to it is that the suit you have is leaking, and your oxygen supply is also used for thrust. So every time you thrust, you're actually using up some of your, breathable oxygen. So you're constantly, and it's kind of it's kind of interesting because they've taken the oxygen supply, the oxygen refills, as the breadcrumbs to get you through the area. So like you look around and you'll see these cases that have big green lights on them, and you can hit a button that lets you scan so you can see where the interesting things are. Like if there's a question mark here, then that's something you need to go examine, and you'll see these cases that are lit up, and basically they were cases filled with oxygen canisters. So you have to get over to them, and you'll find little oxygen canisters floating around, and you have to grab one, and then that refills your oxygen. And so also you're going into pieces of the station that are still intact, but it's all broken apart. So you constantly have to go out into open space. And when you do that, the leak is worse. So you're constantly sort of going from spot to spot where there's oxygen, and also trying to do what the game's asking you to do. And it's really interesting. I'm really enjoying it so far. Only played about an hour of it. I think it's only 3 or 4 hours long. But I'm really enjoying it because it's a walking simulator, basically. Well, floating simulator. So the whole point is that you're reading, like, you're finding computers that are still working. You're reading emails. I've actually come across the body of one of the crew members. I'm trying to figure out what happened. I think there are 5 other crew members. I'm trying to figure out what happened to them and piece together what's happened to the station in general. But I really like the risk reward stuff that goes with it because of the oxygen situation. Because it's like at one point it was sort of out in open space, and like in the distance there was a receiver that I wanted to get to because I could get a signal from it, but it was really far away. Excuse me, it was really far away. So it's kind of like, well, I know I feel like, I don't know if this is true or not, but the way the game was making me feel is like if I thrust there like full throttle, I'm going to run out of air by the time I get there, or I'll get there, but I won't be able to get back. But of course it's space. So as long as I create motion, right, I will still get there, just much slower. And I only have to use small thrusts. And also, like, if you try to rotate or level out or brake, even stop your motion, it all costs oxygen. This is really cool. And I mean, it would be so much better in VR. It would actually be very, very vomit-inducing in VR, I think. But because you're floating out there, you're orbiting Earth, so like Earth is way below you, and it's completely normal and so easy to get turned upside down, and
right,
and it's difficult to control sometimes too. I've had so many moments where I've misjudged going to grab an oxygen canister because the only other real control you have is that you can use a button to reach out a hand, and that's how you have to grab things. And so, like, I've so many times I've been floating towards an oxygen canister, reached out and missed it, and then pulled back on the stick just to watch it float away. And I'm like, oh God, come back. But it's not overly difficult. Like, and the thing that I was realizing is, at least I think this is what's happening, is that all of those cases, you'll usually find 3 or 4 oxygen canisters floating around them. And even if you use a couple of them, they respawn. Like, you throw the empty canister away, and then you'll notice that they'll keep respawning around those cases. So it doesn't penalize you too much. But anyways, really enjoying it. I was bummed to find out it wasn't VR. For some reason, I assumed it was VR. I think that's why I bought it in the first place. But I do like the premise of it, and I was really enjoying playing it. It can get very intense at moments, but such a cool premise. And I think what was that Sandra Bullock movie a couple of years ago? Gravity.
Speed.
It feels like it's Speed. It feels like it's basically Gravity.
Okay.
So anyway, just started playing that this week. I'm really enjoying it. I also finally finished this week, 10 years later.
Oh my.
The Way Forward remake of A Boy and His Blob.
Oh, congratulations.
Did you ever finish that game, Phil?
I did not.
I would highly it's lengthy. I don't know how many hours I spent on it. Maybe 10.
Yeah.
I remember playing that on the Wii and being super excited about it, being super impressed by it.
Right.
And I don't remember why I stopped playing it. I think something else must have come out.
I kind of lost interest in it after a couple hours.
I kind of did too, I think, but I don't think that was the main reason I stopped playing it. So anyway, so streaming 3 nights a week over on Twitch, and I've been, for the retro nights that I've been playing this. I've been playing it since before Christmas. And I finally finished it. And man, I gotta say, like, beautiful game.
Yeah.
We all knew that it was a beautiful game. It's beautiful animation, great hand-drawn characters and art. But I really, really enjoyed it on this playthrough, like start to finish. I never got bored with it. They constantly give you new abilities. So like even in the last sort of series of stages, you're actually learning new play mechanics.
Yeah.
And because of course they don't give you every jelly bean to change the blob into different things in every single level. Like it's a puzzle game, right? And it's just so well done. I really, really enjoyed it. So I finally finished it. Nice. And I was happy that I did, because the ending is quite a payoff. And I would say what it is. I don't know. I mean, if anyone's ever gonna play through it, I kind of don't want to. But basically, there's the final boss, but then they have 2 levels that are basically a victory lap.
Oh, okay.
And then there's actually another boss fight. But like the victory lap stuff is just, I just had a huge smile on my face.
Oh yeah.
Because of the different things that happen in it. So anyway, highly recommended. You can get it on PlayStation 4 now. You don't have to play the Wii version. I think it's probably on PC as well.
I believe it is, yes.
So it's probably fairly cheap. I know when I bought it, it was like less than $10.
Okay.
And really, really worth it for anybody who's been thinking about dipping their toe in. Like I said, I think it's like an 8 to 10 hour play. Okay. And it's enjoyable from start to finish. What feels like an 8 to 10 hour play and is not enjoyable from start to finish is Battletoads for the arcade.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. So again, this is another game that I played on Twitch. For Extra Life donors, they get to choose a game for me to play on Thursday nights. And somebody requested this because, of course, it's part of the Rare Replay collection on the Xbox One. And wow. I think this was the first Rare arcade game. I want to say it was.
Wasn't Killer? It was before
Killer Instinct came after. Yeah, Killer Instinct was an N64 game. Battletoads was on NES.
And did you watch because they have a video on the making of?
Yeah, I did. The making of, which is great because they reveal that the final boss, the way they balanced the final boss was for the first 30 seconds you're fighting him, you're not actually doing any damage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It just pretends that you. So it's funny because I watched that short documentary piece on it, and it's interesting to listen to the developers on it because they talk about the fact that, like we're used to making console games, and with console games, of course, you want to add difficulty, and you want to, you're playing to a different crowd because they've already paid for the game, right?
Yeah.
So they want to get something out of it. But then with the arcade, you still want it to be challenging, but not so hard that people walk away. You want to make sure that people keep dumping quarters into the thing.
Yeah.
So Rare's way to do this was to just throw a ton of enemies at
Yeah.
you, and there's an achievement when you play this game that is for the achievement is defeat 1,000 enemies across. You can do it across multiple sittings, like multiple
Okay.
playthroughs, right? I got the achievement 2/3 of the way through the game.
Oh, my.
It's
Wow.
insane. And I couldn't, and I mean, I had played it before, so there was definitely some of that doing. But at the end of each level,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be a 3-player game. I was only playing a single player. But at the end of each level, they do a count of all the enemies each toad defeated. Right.
Uh-huh.
And they go through each enemy type, and then they count them all up, and then they count how many enemies that you defeated in that level, and then they have your overall enemy count at the bottom, kind of like Turtles. Remember Turtles' score was all about how many of the Foot Clan you defeated.
Right.
You got a point for everybody you defeated. My score was well over 1,000 by the end of the single run.
Oh, jeez.
1,000 enemies.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And if I'd been dumping quarters in the thing, I probably would have spent about $6 on the final boss.
Jeez.
It was not enjoyable in the least. It was infuriating to play.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. But hey, I've done it. I did it finally.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah.
Now, were you rash, pimple, or zits?
Which
during
one
your
has the
playthrough?
sunglasses?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Which one has the sunglasses?
I played this one with the sunglasses.
Okay.
That was the other
he's-
thing I
he's
actually
the
didn't.
best. Yeah.
The only thing I actually didn't like about it was that once you've chosen a character, you can't change characters if you continue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which kind of
Huh.
sucks.
It's too bad.
But anyway, yeah, Battletoads Arcade, not so much.
Okay.
Let's do. Oh, one more thing I've been playing. Obviously, I got to call this out. This past weekend, I was playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 5.
Oh.
I'm not going to talk too much about it on this show because I don't feel like this audience is going to listen to. But it's exactly what the title says. It's a management simulator for hockey, NHL, and a bunch of other minor leagues as well. I don't know if you can play as the minor leagues a lot. I think you can. And I'm playing historic mode, which means that I'm playing. I'm taking the 91-92 Pittsburgh Penguins, trying to take them to the cup. I'm only about 8 games into my season right now, but just wanted to call out that I stream that every couple of weeks, Saturday nights, on Twitch TV/OOTP Developments, Out of the Park Developments, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be streaming again. I think it's going to be on the 23rd. This month is the schedule's a little screwy because of a hockey tournament that I'm taking my son to. So, but just calling that out every couple weeks. Twitch.tv/OOTP Developments, and you should go check it out anyway because they also do Out of the Park Baseball, which is where the title of the company comes from. You should go check it out. They're good games, and if you're even a little bit curious about management simulators like I am, where I've never really played them before, go check it out because you might find that you really enjoy it. And they have a lot of in-depth streams, and they have some people like me who are complete newbies at it, and you can watch us kind of learning how to do it and see if it's something that you get into as well. So just calling that out. Now let's talk about some tweets. Let's do some tweets. Tweet. You're losing your voice there a little bit.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Tweet.
All right.
Am I?
No, that was a little bit better.
I
That's
I was trying to keep it mellow.
So this first one comes from from hacker alias the Defective Ram.
Mm-hmm.
It says apparently Nintendo has a game in the works that will make fans happy. Don't most of the games make fans happy?
Nope.
Yeah.
Do we have any
every
guests?
every other Nintendo game has made everyone sad. A weird philosophy for the company, but
Yeah.
Do we have any guesses on what that would be? He is guessing F-Zero or Rogue Squadron. I don't think Rogue Squadron would be
No.
one.
I don't. Yeah, why would?
Well, I mean, I think EA still has that license, right? I don't think they give that to multiple companies. I mean, they might take it away from EA considering how many games they keep canceling and delaying, but
I'm going to guess that it is not whatever you're thinking that it is, whatever dead Nintendo franchise that you're like, oh man, that means they're going to make another Kid Icarus game, or F-Zero's coming back, or whatever it is. I'm like, it's probably not going to be that. My guess and hope is Super Mario Maker on Switch.
That would make a whole lot of sense.
That would be cool.
I would be all about that.
Yeah.
Or Punch Out or whatever. But I think it will be one of those games where it's like Mario Maker, where people expected it on Switch and it hasn't happened yet, and it's going to be one of those, instead of here's a sequel to an obscure Nintendo franchise that we think you'll like. Like, I don't think that's what they were going to be referring to in an investor presentation.
Good point.
Yeah.
Although I would love it if it was another F-Zero. Man.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
When was the last F-Zero we got? Was that GameCube?
Yes.
For home versions? There may have been a GBA one after the GameCube, but yeah.
I think it's Mario Maker 2. I think you're right.
Yeah. I hope it's Mario Maker.
Yeah.
I'll be down for that.
But you, Phil, you got any guesses?
Well, considering I work for a company that is tangentially related to Nintendo, I do not know.
Yes.
But I am
going to abstain.
I am scared to even wildly speculate on the very off chance that I might be correct.
Phil does not comment on rumors or speculation.
Exactly. Yeah. That said, it is most definitely the Urban Champion Cross Wrecking Crew game that everyone has been.
Fans are going to be ecstatic about that.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
It's the two franchises together for the first time in a sprawling RPG dance rhythm game.
You've waited long enough. Gyromite 2 is a Labo game that you have to build the robot for.
You know what?
Love that Joker.
You know what?
What?
I was all laughing during the Gyromite 2, but then you were like, "Oh, it's a lab." I was like, "Oh boy, I could almost see that happening."
Yeah. Yep. Build your own robot.
But again, I make no speculation on this, just in case.
Okay. Up next, let me see here. Hacker alias PRO asks, with Resident Evil 2 selling better than Resident Evil 7, is the market for old games remade going to explode with the deluge of 90s games that are better remembered rather than replayed?
Do you think this question is assuming or is trying to say that Resident Evil 2 is not good?
I think he's making a more general statement here that I agree with, which is that early 3D games from the late 90s, we have fonder memories of them than how good they actually were.
But is it that
I shouldn't even say that. Fonder memories of how, because I mean the gameplay in a lot of them was quite good, but you know,
for the time
of how they look,
it's rough to go back to early 3D games.
It is, and it's not only because of the graphics,
right?
But a lot of them were pre-analog control.
Well, that's just it. There have been so many refinements in control and in camera. You know, just the way cameras work in games.
That's something that you forget about. Yes, cameras are so much better now than they were in the late 90s.
Yeah. So, you know what? That wouldn't surprise me, and I would be all for it because you know there are a lot of great early PlayStation games that are, you know, they like RE2, an amazing game.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a little hard to go back to it these days just because of, you know, those advancements that we were just talking about. So, you know, I would not be surprised if this sort of triggers, you know, will we get maybe a remake of the original Tomb Raider, for instance?
No, we've had a remake of the original Tomb Raider.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Which
Tomb Raider Anniversary on the 360 and PlayStation?
Oh, is that
3.
right? Okay.
Yeah. And it was quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but it was quite good for all the reasons you just described.
Right.
They took and I think Tomb Raider is a great game. The first Tomb Raider is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
But they took the set pieces and the situations and the puzzles, and they rebuilt them in a modern game, and it was really well done.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they did with RE2, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, I haven't played it, but
But no, I wouldn't be surprised. So everyone's loving RE2. I would be way down with a modern day remake of Jumping Flash.
And you know what? And that's the thing. I crap on sort of remakes on this show a lot, but it's mostly when I don't like the way I think it was mostly this generation started.
Well, there's
where we were getting remakes of games that had literally come out 8 months ago.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between remaking RE2 for the PS4 and remaking Last of Us for PS4.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. So if we're digging deep, if we're going back like 20 years, 15, 20 years, absolutely. I am all for that.
Yeah.
And I would like to see this trend. I don't want to see it, I wouldn't want to see it in lieu of sequels, because Resident Evil 7 was fantastic.
Sure.
But I do like the trend of, let's go back, let's mine this gold.
Yeah.
But modernize it.
All right.
So let's see here. Let's do one more, because this episode's starting to run a little long. I don't know what one to do here. Maybe
you think you would have looked at these earlier. I mean,
I would have. You know what? Hacker alias Mark's Remark says, "What's a game that you were incredibly hyped about but ended up being a huge letdown?" Mine would probably be the Fable games.
Is it too soon to say Red Dead 2?
Nope.
Yeah, that one. Although high up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I feel bad about that, because I work with a few people who are loving, who absolutely adore Red Dead 2, and and they fully agree that it starts stupid slow, but if you power through, it's like gets really good. But I just
see. I don't know, especially back here when Mike was here last week, saying when he powered through it, it was still like a 60-hour game.
Right.
I can't even imagine that.
Right.
And I'm not saying that I would never play a 60-hour game.
Yeah.
But that game, no. From what I played it.
Here's one calling back to the beginning of the show. Crackdown 2.
Crackdown 2. Yeah.
Crackdown 2.
Yeah.
Super hype. And then it ended up being Crackdown 2.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
So,
I want to answer Sledge in the chat as well. He's asked a couple times, do I think Sega Ages will come to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox? It doesn't feel like it, but I mean, I could be dead wrong on that. I don't have any insight into that. But it doesn't feel like it, because I don't know. I feel like we would have heard something by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So alrighty, that's our show for this week. Thanks for listening. I don't know what CJ says here.
Well, you want me to do it?
No, that's the part CJ, or that's the part Phil says. We have a website, player1podcast.com. Go there to check out all of our latest episodes, as well as updates on Generation 16, which I have no update right now, and sometimes articles on Sega CDL. I think it's been almost a year since I wrote one of those.
I don't say that part anymore.
I know, but I do. And if you would like to chat with us, come hang out on our Discord server.
There you go.
I think that was all he was saying. So
is that it?
ahead.
Oh, that's it.
That's
it. Man, geez, see now I'm thrown off.
Yep.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up the Apple podcast application. You can also head over to the App Store and invest $1.99
cheap
to pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application, which gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, what have you. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
It's right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're also, or the Amazon Android.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I just
got
said.
it right. Yep.
We're also on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. We're on Spotify. We're on Spotify. If you were paying attention to the big game, perhaps you saw our Super Bowl commercial.
Ad. That was a lot of Patreon dollars.
Patreon funds went to that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed that. It was very expensive. And you can watch archives of our show and watch us live most weeks on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast. And if you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. You know what your money will go towards? CJ buying a Kindle for his kid.
To say next year's Super Bowl ad?
Pages.
Because we clearly need to get physical books away from the Johnston household.
Apparently.
Yikes. You know, those are, a nice Kindle will help out with that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Your Patreon dollars do obviously help keep our lights on, keep the show running. You also, for those Patreons supporting at the $5 or higher tier, you do get access to a bonus after show every week where we have fun games and nothing lames except the hosts.
True.
So please look forward to that. And if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to generation-16.com where you will find the Patreon link to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding web series about North America's favorite Sega banana, the Sega Genesis.
Thanks, Phil.
No, thank you for everything you do in support of the Sega Genesis.
Aw.
Actually, you know what? Speaking of Sega Genesis, I saw a forum thread on that Resetera site.
Never heard of it.
It's a video game forum.
Oh, okay.
On the internet that some people go to, and it's a gifts of let me see if I can get the actual title here. Gifts of cool visual effects in old games. And it's people posting animated GIFs of old video games. And there's a lot of really great looking Sega Genesis games. Just
there were a lot of really great looking Sega Genesis games.
Yeah, well, people posting GIFs of like Ranger X and the Adventures of Batman and Robin and Thunder Force 4 and just man, when people who knew what they were doing were making Genesis games. Genesis games looked awesome.
They looked pretty.
There's a clip of this the Lost World Jurassic Park for Genesis, which apparently came out in 1997.
Wow.
Sure.
Whoa.
You know? And there's a T-Rex chase sequence in that game, and there's a little animated GIF that is like crazy looking. Yeah.
See, now that's past my time definitely moved on by then. Plus, I wasn't a big fan of Jurassic Park games for the most part.
Right.
But yes, I don't know much about that one.
I just threw the link up in our little group chat here between us. So go take a look. It's in the first post.
There's one of the last Genesis games released.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you're talking sports games, almost exclusively sports games on the Genesis at that point.
Yeah.
And because I'm looking at my list and it's like that year there was Lost World, and then it was like FIFA 98, Madden 98, NHL 98, NBA Live 98, and then Frogger.
Oh, was Frogger the last one?
Frogger was the last American game, and then there were a couple of games released by Tectoy down in Brazil. There's like Duke Nukem and a couple of television show-based trivia games.
Oh,
like
Brazilian television shows.
Yeah, I don't know how to say. I can't speak Brazilian.
Shusha.
There was a Shusha game.
No, that was hilarious.
Jeez, don't get my hopes up there. My goodness. Oh man. Okay, but there you go. CJ.
Yeah.
take care of yourself. Get well.
I'll
Yeah,
try
will ya?
to.
We don't want you
try.
being sick. No one's
I
gonna
don't want to be sick either.
no one's gonna hire a sickie.
Mhm.
right.
You know? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Gregory,
Yo,
take care of yourself too. You know, I know you're not sick at the moment, but I'd hate to see
but I
you
will be.
come down with something.
I will be. Yeah.
Stay away from CJ. I heard he's got something.
I do.
Oh, I
He's
always
got a bit
do.
of a bug.
I do. Mm.
Yes. And we will see everyone next week
All right,
during
Bye.
during the follow-up Super Bowl.
Super Bowl
Two.
2.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. 'Cause in case this one's a tie, they have to do a second Super Bowl the following week.
Yes,
That's how it works.
That's how rules
It's
work.
in the bylaws.
Bye, everybody.
Doodles.
Bye bye.